Hey y'all, what's up? What's up? What's up? This is Paul, and God has qualified me to be your hip hop relationship and recovery coach. And I'm bringing to you another Kick Your Butt Out episode. As usual, before I get off into the content of the day, I have to say what I always say, and I strongly encourage you to get this into your thought process, right? So that you can incorporate this into your lives. And that is, if you're looking for a butt, it's going to always be easy to find one. And that, my friends, is a promise. All right, let's get off into what we're going to be talking about today. Today's episode of subject matter, excuse me, I needed a little coffee. Today's episode and the subject matter in it made me, as I was thinking about this, it made me really think about some of the things, some of the choices, and some of the ways that I went over the years of my life. And some of the results, obviously, or the consequences that I got as a result of some of the ways and choices that I've made in life. And it made me think about why do I, or did I, or we make some of the choices or go some of the ways that we have gone in life. And my pastor, and what sparked this is that my pastor had preached last week talking about rerouting, how God reroutes us to obviously to get closer to him, and has to reroute us because of the more often than not, the directions that we be going in, it's going to be some major consequences, and sometimes some eternal consequences if he doesn't reroute us, or if we continue to go in the way that we're going. So with that being said, I've decided to title today's episode of Kick Your Butt Out, Go This Way, But, and that's what usually happens. As I was just saying these things, it brought me to a story in the Bible. It was a prophet of God that had been asked to prophesy by a man of God, a person that wasn't of God, a person that wasn't of God had came to a man of God, a prophet of God, and asked him to prophesy against the people of God. And, long story short, this guy, he was willing to do what this guy had asked. And in order to be able to do it, he had to go to a destination, right? And he was on this donkey going to the destination so that he could do what this man had asked him to do. Again, going in the way that we're not supposed to be going. So he's on this way and he's going down this path, and the donkey that he was on kept falling on the ground, right? So he kicked the donkey, get the donkey up, cussed the donkey out, said all of these crazy things to the donkey, and kept getting the donkey. So the donkey kept falling, he kept getting him up, cussing him out, whatever. Got to the point where the donkey said, listen, the way that you're going, the angel of death is standing down on the other end of this road, and he's swinging an axe. And if I continue to go down there, you're going to die. That can relate to many of our lives. The way that we are going, if something doesn't happen to stop us, right? If God doesn't put something in the way to stop us, many of us are going to end up dying. So in life, think about, we want to go somewhere. So that somewhere is a destination, right? And in order to get to that destination, we have to have directions, right? Okay, so sometimes, thank God for GPS, because, so many people got lost with maps. Let me say that. Thank God for GPS, because GPS gives us these, some wonderful directions to get to where it is that we're going, to whatever the destination is. And sometimes that GPS may take us in a roundabout way, in a scenic way, when we could have went the shorter distance. Just kind of metaphoric. So think about that. But anyway, back to the GPS and the directions and the destination. So we have a destination. We need to get the directions to go to the destination. And again, many times we'll use a GPS. And while we're using that GPS, many times, many of you all out there can relate to what I'm about to say. We have made wrong turns in spite of what the GPS is telling us. Don't that sound like us and God? We have made wrong turns in spite of what the GPS is telling us, but the GPS will always reroute us. It will always tell us, okay, it will show reroute, and then it will give you another direction, right? An alternate direction to get to the destination. Same thing with God, right? Think about this. And when that GPS will give us the rerouting directions to get to our destination, more often than not, we'll go with what that GPS said. Well, that's the same thing. That's the same thing with life. But what happens with many of us, even though the GPS, the big GPS, reroutes us and tells us to go this way, we don't go that way. We'll still go another way. And it's crazy. It's crazy for me to think about the many times I will listen to the directions of the GPS, but I won't listen to the directions of God and go the way that God has told me to go. And again, obviously, it has caused many consequences in my life because of the fact that God said, go this way. And I said, yep, but. And many of you out there who are listening to this episode to Kick Your Butt Out can relate to what it is that I'm saying. Like I said, life has destinations, right? And there's a certain way that every last one of us has to go in order to get to the destinations that life is taking us to. And one thing that we have to stop doing, let me say this, and I hope everybody is listening to me when I say this. One thing that we have to stop doing is doing things our way. Because if you think about your way has never worked. Because let me watch this. I'm going to prove it to you. If your way worked, you wouldn't need God. If your way worked, when all hell broke loose, you wouldn't have been hollering and crying out for Jesus. So we have to understand that the destinations and the destinations that we have to go and the directions that we have to take to get there can't be our way or our directions, because we know 100% without any doubt, 100% no doubt that our way has always not worked. One of the things that we talk about in recovery is the way to recovery is stop doing things your way and find out a way that does work. And usually finding out a way that does work entails for you to reach for some outside sources for the directions to your destination. Same thing with us and God. We have to get to a place in our lives that when God says go this way, we can't say, yep, God, I hear you, but we have to go in the way and in the direction that God is telling us to go, whether it be from our own personal health, whether it be in relationships. And one of the things that I want to talk about in relationships is some people that we are yoking ourselves with or connecting ourselves to the direction that we are going or we are supposed to be going. It doesn't entail us connecting and bringing them with us. It doesn't entail even connecting with some of the people in the directions that we are going. And we do the opposite. We'll connect with these people, end up going in the direction that they have designed for us. And again, let me say this. I'm not saying that people are bad. I'm not saying that people are bad anything, because I don't believe that God made bad people. God made good people that do bad stuff. God made good people that make bad decisions. So I'm not going to say anybody is a bad person and anybody, I'm not going to say any of that. However, sometimes the destinations that we have to go to and the directions to go there, you're going to see some people, places, and things along the path that will detour you. They will be detours, not directions, not people that we're supposed to connect with. And I'm gonna take a page out of Maya Angelou's, one of her quotes. She said, when somebody tells you who they are, believe them the first time. And a lot of times going to our destination, we might be directed to a person, or some people that we'll fool ourselves or convince ourselves into believing that these people are supposed to be with me as I'm going to my destination along the directions to get there. These people are supposed to be with me, and they have caused you nothing but pain from the beginning, and you still convincing yourself that they're supposed to go with you. Like I said, my Angelou said it like this: when a person tells you who they are, believe them the first time. And sometimes that's going to mean that that's not a part of the destination. That's not a part of the directions. The GPS don't say that this, that, or the other, or whoever is supposed to be connected to you or with you as you going to the destination that you have been called to. Because listen here, y'all. We can save ourselves a lot of pain and grief. A lot of pain and grief if we just go the way that God is telling us to go. And that, like I said, that can be in relationships, because if you with someone or you're around someone or you are connected to someone and they're going in the one direction and you're going in the other, somebody pulling somebody away from where they're supposed to be going, right? You have to be around and in community, right? In relationship with people who are like-minded and going the same way. With people who are like-minded and going the same way. And here's another thing. That you can't do. Sometimes when God telling us to go this way, it means to let some people go. And what that means is you can't drag as you're going to the destination, or you may be going to the destination and following the directions that God told you to go. But many of us have made the choices to drag some other people along that doesn't even supposed to be going with us. Again, I'm not saying that they're supposed to be going somewhere dark, right? It just means that they're not supposed to be a part of your destination and the directions that you're supposed to be going. That's all I'm saying. I'm not calling anybody bad. I'm just saying some people ain't supposed to go with you. And we have to accept that, because here's the reality. Some of those people may be your blood relatives. Some of those people may be extremely close to you. And it may hurt. It may hurt. But the destination and the directions that God has given us shows on the GPS that, okay, this person ain't supposed to be there. So I can't say that enough. And the reason why I'm saying this the way that I'm saying it is because that's one of the main reasons why a lot of us don't get to where we're supposed to go. It's because we connected to the wrong people. We connected to people, and we want to stay connected to the people that we're not supposed to be connected to. Same thing from a physical standpoint. Same thing from an occupational standpoint. Many areas and many ways of in our lives, we are doing things and connecting things to our destination and wondering why it's taking so long to get there. Again, remember the story about the Hebrews. When they came out of Egypt, the journey the journey to the promised land was only supposed to took 11 days. It took 40 years. And they had the greatest GPS in the world. The Bible teaches us that God was a cloud in the day and the light at night guiding them. The Bible teaches us that as long as the amount of time that they stayed in that wilderness along the directions to the destination, the Bible says that their shoes didn't even get old. Their clothes didn't even get old. So that lets you understand that God was with them 100% of the way. And many of them still didn't make it to the destination because they wouldn't follow the directions. And the directions, one thing that the directions meant, if it didn't mean nothing else, is that you can't go your way. Go this way. But so many of us that's what many of us do. How do I know? I'm human. Been there, done it. Took a long time to get to this place. Even these podcasts that I'm doing right now, I should have been doing these things. And one of the reasons why I didn't do it is because I knew the destination. I was going some other directions. And I promise y'all this, all of the other directions that I was going was not working for me. They were setback directions. Reroute. How many times do you have to get rerouted in your life before you go the way that you're supposed to go? Because you got to realize this, people, we are getting older. And at some point, we're not going to be able to move or go any direction. So we might as well go the direction that is laid out for us and to the destination that's laid out for us while we got the capabilities and the abilities to do so. I promise y'all, you do not want to wait as long as I waited to start to follow the directions of God to the destination that God has planned out for me. That's one of the reasons why I do what I do, because here's one of the reasons. I started this journey when I was 48, 10 years ago. And I see many people, watch this. I see many people that I come across in this new life that God has given me, and they're going in the wrong direction, and they're very young. And my message to people, and my message to you as well, listen to this, y'all, is that I don't want you to have to wait till you're 48, if you make it to 48, to start to turn this thing around. So if some of the information that I'm giving you is helping you to reroute the direction in which you're going, please take advantage of this information, because you may not get it again. And the crazy part about it all of this, is that many of us, myself included, miss the direction because of this little three-letter word, but. I know I should, but I know I could, but I heard you, God, but you right, but that makes sense, but that is a wise choice. But the list goes on and on and on. This little bitty word, this little three-letter word, is messing up our destination. It's messing up the directions and messing up the course of our lives. So what I'm saying is this: if you will follow a GPS in your car to a destination and follow the directions to a T, why not follow the directions to the destination that God has planned out for you? And like I said, that can mean marriage, that can mean career, that can mean ministry, that can mean church, that can mean gym, that can mean the food you eat, that can mean the people that you hang around, that can mean so many things. Because one of the things I understand about God and his directions, his directions are complete. It encompasses the whole of a person. So he don't leave anything out. So if you're confused or you don't have knowledge or understanding about what it is that you're supposed to be doing, the destination and the directions to get there, ask God. Watch this. It says it. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Can't get no plain than that. Can't get no more simple than that. It can't get any more plain than that, period. So this is what we have to do, and especially in this day and age, because look at what's going on in this world. Again, I'm gonna say it like I always said. I've said it before in some of my other episodes. We don't even have to think about the world. Let's think about this country, in our cities. The madness that's going on in these places right now, and listen, of all ages, from the youngest to the oldest, of all ages. If we don't change the course of our directions and start going towards the destination with the directions that God has given us, listen, y'all, we can't complain about nothing that this evil world is going to bring, whether it be in the next year, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20, so forth and so on. We cannot complain about it. God said, go this way. We got to stop saying, yeah, but we have to go the way that he told us to go. Again, whatever and whoever and whenever and whatever. Don't ask why. Don't ask why. Just go. Because I know for a fact, from my own experiences, if I don't know nothing else, I know God has never led me wrong. 100%. I know God has never led me wrong. He has never led me into a dark place, wrong directions, back door. No, he has never done any of that. And I don't believe he's going to ever start. So I don't believe he's going to do that for you either, or to you either. And if you want to be honest about it, God has never led you wrong. So let's work this thing together, because again, the Bible says that we are one body, many members. And I'm talking about everybody out there who say that they believe in God. One body, many members. We all need to work together so that this body can be built up, right? Get the information for the destination and the directions and go where God is telling us to go, because he said it, that we supposed to light up this world. And if I'm being honest, because many of us are not going the way that we know God told us, it's a dim light. It's a dim light, 100, unfortunately, 100%. So I want to do my part, and I want to help somebody else do their part. And I want somebody to help me do my part. That's one of the reasons why I do, another one of the reasons why I do what I do, y'all, because we got to change. Recovery says it. Recovery says if nothing changes, nothing changes. And that's what's going on in this world. It's too many people not trying to change it. It's too many people in this world. And I'm talking about believers. I'm talking about believers. Here's some of the things we're doing. I hate this. Y'all know it. It is what it is. I hate that. Too many of us as Christians saying that. It is what it is. Too many of us holding church within the four walls when we are the church, right? Too many of us we do everything within the four walls of the building that we gather together in, nothing outside of it. And that's where the work is supposed to be done, so that we can get people the information for the destination and the directions, so that they can go the way that God has told them to go. We got to stop this. We got to stop leaving it the way it is. And we got to come out of the four walls of the places that we fellowship together. And because he said it, go out into all the world. Go out into all the world and preach the gospel to all creations. After that, you shall receive power, and the Holy Ghost has come upon you, and you shall be witnesses unto me in Jerusalem and Judea and Samaria, and to the uttermost part of the world. Period. That's what he said. And that was two scriptures. And the Bible says, in the presence of two witnesses, let every word be established. So if he said it in both of those, that means that that's what's supposed to be done. Go this way and kick your butt out. Period, y'all. So if anybody out there is listening to this podcast and you understand what it is that I'm saying, can relate to what it is that I'm saying, let's have some conversations around it so that we can do what we need to do to come together, right? Get the directions and go to the destination the way that God has called each and every one of us to go. Whether he gave us collective directions to the destination and individual directions to the destination, we need to find out which one it is and go. And like I said, don't worry about or ask why. Just keep going. And I promise you will see when you get there. That's how God works. That's how God works. With that being said, I don't even need to say anymore. Y'all got the meat. Y'all got the understanding. Y'all got the heart of what I wanted to convey, or what God wanted to convey through me. And so please, let's work together and go this way, the way that God has called us to go, and stop going at it our way, because like I said, our way has never worked for us. If it did, we wouldn't need Jesus. With that being said, I love every last one of y'all, and there's absolutely nothing y'all can do about it. Be well. Do the next right thing, which is go the way God has told you to go. God bless you all. This is Paul. God has qualified me to be your hip-hop relationship and recovery coach. Until next time, I'll see y'all. Deuces.